way it goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees.
Sadistic Penguin Studios presents It's Getting Drafty in Here.
Drafty old farm.
The show of drafting random nonsense.
I choose business ethics.
And now, coming to you from his basement, a.k.a. Draft Headquarters, your host and draft master, Magnificent Stan.
Hello, welcome to episode 29 of It's Getting Drafty in Here. I am your host, Magnificent Stan. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. We are a week away from Old Hallows Eve, and what better way to celebrate Halloween than talk about our favorite scary movies? With me tonight, first of all, we're going to go with our guy, Svo, from Yumper and Svo at the show, Sadistic Penguin Superstar. What's up?
What's up, Brian? Good to have be back on. I missed your face.
You're good to have me here.
I mean, I feel like I never left.
I know. Also, another member of the Sadistic Penguin Studios, Hookup on Music host, our guy Sugar Baggy. What's going on, Tony?
What's going on, guys? How you doing tonight?
I am good. I'm ready to do this. I've had taken a couple weeks off. I had the Rona, and now I'm better, and we're ready to do this. It's one I've been planning for a very long time. Also joining us is my co-host and partner in crime on the weekly AEW Dynamite playbacks, my guy, Comic Punk Guy. What's up, brother?
What's going on, bud?
Not much. I'm so glad to have you on again. Also joining us for his 408th appearance on the show, Yumper and Svo host, co-host, whatever we want to call him, our guy, Tom Yumper Garcia. What's up, guy? Thank you.
Hey, what's up?
If they made a horror movie about the Ultimate Warrior, how awesome would that be?
That would be excellent.
That'd be terrifying, having him chase you.
I'd watch the shit out of that movie.
Just screaming into
We could write that movie. We already have the title. We'll just call it Hearts Unknown.
That works.
Trying to hide in the closet, just
he's starting in the closet.
Yeah.
All that cocaine, man. All right. We're just going to dive right in. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. We have no categories this week. We're just going to talk about horror movies. And, as usual on It's Getting Drafting here, a very organic manner, and we're just going to draft and talk. So, first pick, we got the guy Svo. You're going to take fear.com, right?
I am. Actually, I'm going to go with a movie that was very important to me in my childhood. Yumper says I always draft with my heart, not with my head to win. So I'm going to go with Paperboy.
Son of a bitch.
I'm just kidding. I think that if we're going to Yumper says I go with my heart, man. I'm going to go with the pop culture icon. I'm going to go with Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, 1 of 1. I think anywhere in the 80s, Freddy Krueger was there, and he was a pop culture icon, and this movie inspired other ones. And it's not my favorite one, but I think it's an absolutely elite, worthy of 1 of 1.
one of those movies where you can tell that the actual antagonist is is the literal boogeyman. There's a few of those, but yeah, definitely.
Lots of good special effects in the first one. Definitely like the bed scene. It's classic.
Johnny
Not my
Depp,
favorite either, but it's a classic.
Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I think it's very iconic, and I still love it. I still love it to this day. Not my favorite, but I love it.
I love how it never really took itself too seriously. Like Freddy always had like really, really shitty one-liners all the time, and like it's almost like a vaudevillian response to murdering children.
I think the first one took itself pretty seriously, but it got campier and campier as the series went on. Like, I think
you kind of have to with that.
Right? Like you definitely have to. And Yump and I did this. We did a Nightmare on Elm Street breakdown last summer or last Halloween. I'm sorry, last summer. I think what did I say? My favorite was Dream Master Part 4, where like the one dude fights Freddy with fucking nunchucks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like it's just crazy.
Was that 3 or 4?
4. 3 was the Dream Warriors, which took place in the mental hospital.
Dokken did the soundtrack for it, and that song is a fucking jam, dude.
That song rocks. That is it right there.
I can't hear the name Dokken without thinking of Heavy Metal Parking Lot. And if you haven't seen that, you definitely need to.
Yeah, that song rocks.
10 minutes and we have one pick on the board. Roxy, I need you to update me on what's going on in the Nuggets game. I got a parlay going in on that because I'm a compulsive gambler.
Ooh.
This is a new development in our friendship.
I've been a closeted gambler for a while. So this is an excellent pick, Swole. One reason that really sticks out is not just the story and the whole origin of horror films being taken to a different level by Wes Craven, but Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger is probably one of the most iconic horror actors that even till today, he's mostly recognized as Freddy.
Yeah.
And he's been on appearances on Married with Children as a devil. He's directed his own movies, 976 Evil. He was in Wishmaster. Like, just seeing him, he'll always be known as Freddy, but like, and the connection to horror with him. I mean, we went over it in our episode, like how he was on, another movie, Throwing Out the Leaves, and now he's connected to this. It's just crazy.
He's in an episode of the TV show Bones, where she goes to her high school reunion, and he's the janitor. He's like the creepy janitor that she hung out with when she was in high school. And
he's in Stranger Things.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh my god,
that's great.
I need to. I know everybody keeps yelling at me.
I'm with you, Brian. I haven't watched it either.
We'll watch it together.
Done. Say less.
Let's do it. All right, let's move on here. Tony, you got the second pick.
All right, I am gonna go with my heart, and I'm gonna go with probably not only one of my favorite horror movies, but my favorite movies altogether. All right, we're going with the Lost Boys.
Do I need to go put on my Halloween costume?
I think you may have to.
I paid Tim Capello for a cameo for the 108 tournament last
year. Was that
year.
the one? Yes. 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 I was thinking I wanted to ask who that was. I need to see that again. Please. Please.
I got you.
All right. But man, I could
now we know what to get you for your birthday.
Yep. Good thing it was only like $30 for like an hour video.
I'll literally cry. But this movie means a lot to me. I think it in pretty much showcases everything that was cool about 80s horror movies, the vampires, the actors, even Joel Schumacher. You could see him doing some good stuff before the Batmans that he got his hands on.
Hey, whoa.
The second Batman.
Okay.
Robin. Yeah, sorry. Because the first one was pretty good. But Lost Boys.
Wait, the first Schumacher Batman?
Yeah,
Batman Forever with Val Kilmer.
That was pretty good.
And the hottest Nicole Kidman's ever been on film.
Hold me, kiss me, kill me. Hold me, thrill me, kiss me, kill me. Oh, that's a good one. But Lost Boys, though, again, Kiefer, I mean,
Kiefer.
you know, I made a joke the other day. My wife went to go get her haircut, and I said, "Are you going to get the Kiefer haircut?" And she laughed. But I thought that just the movie enables. The soundtrack is amazing. The music, as you heard, you wouldn't be getting Tim Capello if you did not see him with his saxophone and singing.
He's touring with Corey Feldman right now.
Oh,
That's dope.
Is he seriously?
He is. He's touring with Corey Feldman.
Are we
right
going to that?
now. Yes.
I would go to that.
Jackie, I think we're going to have that conversation at some point tonight. So
And Brian, what have I been
ripped.
pestering you about for like the last year and a half?
to see
Corey Feldman.
You know, I've done it, so I you know.
Yeah, he was at Riot Fest this year, wasn't he?
I didn't see him at Riot Fest though. I saw him he played at Arcada in St. Charles.
Oh,
and we like
that.
walked in and watched him for like 4 minutes, and we're like, we're getting the fuck out of here. He was with a bunch of like old like strippers, and it was fucking weird.
Well, if we're staying for that whole fucking thing.
Sam, have you ever seen so our guy Sam Reeves, for those of you that are listening, he wrote Mrs. Doubtfire is pretty horrifying. Look up on YouTube Mrs. Doubtfire horror, and somebody made a
Halloween,
trailer from a perspective like a horror film, and it's perfect. Actually,
They did the same thing with Dumb and Dumber. They made Dumb and Dumber into an Oscar-winning flick, which is very good. Like it's very good. Like both of them are.
Yep. Whoever made them has some definite chops. All right, moving right along. Oh, real quick before Lost Boys. Do you guys all consider that to be a horror movie? That was like one of the things I thought about when I was making my list.
Honestly, like I don't care if it's a horror movie or not. Like Tony said, like it's very nostalgic for me. Like I think it came out in 87,
something like that, 88. Yeah.
And like my cousin Roger went to go see it, and with all my cousins, and I wasn't allowed to go because I was still too little. What'd you say, Yump?
La Bamba?
Yeah.
Is La Bamba a horror movie? I mean, too soon. Like Bob is the.
Even you asking that question, there's a part in the movie where he literally takes a bite out of somebody's skull and blood is flying everywhere. What's more horror? That's not horror. You know, I mean, I don't know.
I wasn't disputing it. I was just asking the question. You know.
So Tony, the funny part about that is like, this is me being a movie nerd. Sullivan actually talked about like filming a big scene where there was more like them killing that group of people around the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like really pumped for it, and they thought it was too scary because they wanted to have like a comedy element to it.
Yeah.
But and they cut that part out, but he made them include the part where he bites the dude's skull.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crazy.
And they replaced it with the scene of Corey Haim in the bathtub.
Yeah, with Manook, man. Manook's
But
dog.
if you're talking, I mean, Freddy, I mean, half of his scenes are all comedy, aren't they?
Yep.
You're not scared.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Have you guys seen the Thirst? Lost Boys of Thirst?
Unfortunately.
No, I never saw any of the spin-offs.
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a better sequel than the other two.
Not really that good, but it's
the other two though?
It's tolerable. I mean, when you're talking about a movie like The Lost Boys, I mean, recently you just did Flatliners, which I believe was Joel Schumacher's follow-up to Lost Boys. But look at the camera quality on HBO Max of The Lost Boys, and then look at the camera quality in a lot of other 80s horror movies. I think it does.
Just brought it to the next level kind of thing.
Kind of a little bit. But again, it's not like, oh my God, I'm scared. I've never been quote unquote scared. It's like cool. It's like cool horror.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know. But.
It's an absolutely iconic movie.
All right. Definitely. Let's go with round one, pick 3. We got our guy CPG.
Well, I really can't believe that this already hasn't been drafted, but
you and I discussed this already.
I gotta go with Halloween, man. Right? There's no matter what when it comes to horror movies, especially in the slasher genre. Halloween started it all. Every holiday slasher movie followed Halloween, whether it was April Fool's Day, Friday the 13th, all that all comes after that. So I think that's got to go in the first round, right?
That would have been my pick. That was my 1-1. So
if Yumper didn't bust my balls last night about the draft, about how I only draft with my heart, Halloween would have been 1-1. So like I wanted to be a little bit different tonight and draft a little bit smarter. So I went Nightmare on Elm Street.
Try to get in your head like I got into Baloney's head.
It worked, man. Like you changed my draft strategy.
Never forget that one.
And like it should be 1-1. It's iconic.
Yeah. Real quick, my wife chimed in. Do I need to find the picture from when I was a kid? So there's a picture at Brandy's mom's house of Brandy when she's probably 4, 5. She looks exactly like the kid from The Exorcist, and it's.
Oh, right.
I mean, minus the possession part of it, but yeah, she was Linda Blair's doppelganger when she was like 5. So
Nice.
I thought that was funny. Yeah, Marge, I should have actually just gone over there and grabbed it and presented it because it's pretty fucking funny. Okay, I'm gonna. I was like starting to think like maybe Halloween will come to me, but I knew CPG was gonna pull that one. I am gonna go. I'm a suck stuff. I'm gonna go with Psycho. It's my number one.
Hitchcock. The one with Hitchcock or the one with Vince Vaughn?
It's the Vince Vaughn one, so he loses.
No, definitely not the Vince Vaughn one. So.
It's an awesome remake.
I don't think I've ever even seen that, honestly.
It's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
But yeah, I mean, just the shots in that movie, like, it was the first time we really got to see like serial killer crazy nonsense, and they presented it so it was so abrupt, honestly.
Sam, I love that movie.
You're not expecting like him to be dressed as his mom and run around murdering people, and yeah, I think it's spawn. I think we got a lot more later on because of this movie. Like, it opened the doors for so many psychological type of thrillers. So yeah.
I mean, it also kills off the main star attraction in Jamie Lee Curtis's mom in like the first like 5 minutes of the movie, which I thought was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she plays it really well, but okay, Shankster, quit giving away ideas.
Shankster, can't be putting that stuff in the chat, man.
Come on, bro. You've been on the show like 8 times. Let's little.
Your wife said she saw it when she was 7 and refused to take a shower. The shower scene's so iconic. I mean, it's been reinvented in cartoons and like parodied all, through other movies.
She's showered since, though, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
the smells in my house are glorious.
That's the thing.
All right. Let's go, Yumper. You got your sandwich here.
All right. Oh man, sandwich.
That sounds delicious.
So I'm pretty surprised this one dropped to me. So I'm gonna go with one of the movies that actually got critically acclaimed for realism. And you mentioned that your wife looked like Linda Blair. I'm gonna go with The Exorcist as my first pick. Movie was just iconic.
The second one?
No, I did. It's horrible.
The new one, really, the new David Gordon Green one.
I haven't even seen that. You know that movie's on streaming now.
I know. I saw it today. It's bad.
Yeah, it's straight. I'll probably watch it now on streaming.
Looked awful. When I'd rather watch Exorcist 3 than whatever that looks like.
Well, you know what? You can watch a mini review of it on 31 Days of Horror. No, anyway.
Whoa.
What are those
things I'm questioning my life about right now? So
the things that are slowly driving him mad.
The things that are keeping me from sleeping on a daily fucking basis.
Can't sleep. Clowns will eat me.
Yeah, for real.
Can't sleep. 31 Days of Horror.
But The Exorcist was one of the first movies horror movies to gain like noteworthy acclaim. I mean, won an Oscar for best screenplay. William Peter Blatty, who wrote it. It's masterfully done to the fact where the director took it seriously, had them be in a fucking icebox to have their real breath come through. Linda Blair was basically, great performance of being evil. Had a lot of fucked up things in it for the 70s. It's been often parodied and often tried to reinvent and be remade, and it can't be done. That's how good of a movie it is, in my opinion.
Agreed. And how many times do you just see a little kid masturbate with a cross?
I haven't seen it in decades, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I said it has fucked up things in it. So.
That's what I'm here for, Yump. You know that.
I'm just here to talk about masturbating crosses. That's all.
Do I have the band for you, Ghost?
Oh my goodness.
There's 2 songs on 7 Inches of Satanic Panic. One's about eating ass. The other one's about something in the nether regions being tickled.
Well, people like to do sometimes.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
That works.
We don't
Every
keep
soup
shit-
I think this is when we queue up the Ultimate Warrior thing again.
There are ones that question where you are taking them.
Thank you.
So for my
I
second pick,
I
Go
think
ahead.
we're actually gonna write and make that Ultimate Warrior horror movie.
oh my god, dialogue's gonna be
It's
horrible.
gonna be like a teenage woman topless running through the forest. Then you just see the tassels on the fucking on the
So random.
Spirit of the warrior will run forever to your death. You know.
Oh, Kogan.
For my second pick, I'm gonna go with another John Carpenter film, a film again that tries to be remade and usually cannot be remade. It's not an original because it was a remake of one in the 50s, but I'm going with John Carpenter's The Thing. I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. I don't know if you knew that, but his role as McCready in The Thing is awesome. I love the story of it. I love how it's something you cannot see, and he just took it to a whole different level in terms of telling this story because previously it was based off an alien, and this one it does have an alien in it, but it's something that can basically morph into something that gets in your blood and basically mimics you. And I thought it was perfectly done. And there are still talked about today. People don't know if McCready was actually the Thing or not. So it's something that's iconic.
Did you say it got remade?
Yeah, I did. Well, it got prequel.
Yeah, there you go.
It got prequel, but it was. You know what I mean? It was.
The movie was
Pretty
still
good. I mean, it's pretty good compared to like the Fog
Norwegian based,
remake.
right?
You know, compared to a lot of remakes, it was pretty solid.
It's all right.
Because they matched it up pretty good to a lot of the stuff from the old movie.
Yeah, but when it comes to Carpenter,
well, how are you going to really beat John Carpenter? You know,
when it comes to Carpenter, he's like one
like
for his good
David
stuff.
Gordon Green ever come close to his Halloween's to John Carpenter's? No.
No,
I mean,
David-
Rob Zombie, did he come close?
David Gordon Green is like ranked 3rd in directors for Halloween remakes because I would go Carpenter, Zombie, David Gordon Green.
I hate Rob Zombie's
I
Halloween
would
movies.
go Gordon Green second. At least the first one. I mean, Rob Zombie's bad.
All I know is never go to a Rob Zombie haunted house. That's all I know.
Is that bad?
Oh my lord, it was the worst thing I've ever been to. We waited in line for like 4 hours. And
I got right in. But it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest thing, but
He was in front of you, Brian. He was in front of you the entire time.
I actually got
Tony
the
just basically
pictures
called
popped
bullshit
up.
here.
The pictures just popped up on Facebook the other day. That's what's hilarious.
Tony's like, yeah, I got it.
What's
right
funny
away.
is wasn't the Rob
Loser.
Zombie, wasn't it at the Odeum in Villa Park?
Yep.
Like right down the street from my house.
Now it doesn't. Now the Odeon's gone, right?
No, that's where they did COVID testing there for the last 2 years.
Alrighty then.
I saw Limp Bizkit there.
I saw ECW there.
I saw Rammstein there
Oh man, Rammstein.
and Soulfly. It was a double-
Soulfly. All right. I'm gonna do one that some people will not consider a horror film. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Iconic in every single way, especially the music. Nah.
Roadhouse?
Nah.
I was saying Roadhouse.
Salsa Shark?
I'm going with Footloose. No, I'm going Jaws. The Lord is the bad guy in Footloose, by the way. I'm going Jaws. Yeah, I think it kind of follows that formula of horror films. It's kind of sneaks up on you. It kept people out. It kept people out of the water. I won't go in the ocean. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, inventor of the summer blockbuster.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I had to go that route. You're gonna notice throughout this draft that I'm just gonna draft old stuff because I don't watch new horror movies because I'm married to someone who's afraid of horror movies, so I don't watch them.
She's gonna come down there and beat the shit out.
Oh yeah, she's gonna come hit me in the head with a hammer for sure. But yeah, I gotta go Jaws. Just on characters alone, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider. And then the guy that played Quint, just those three together were just magic.
When I was in the Navy, I would get on the telecom thing between a bunch of people who were my friends that were watching at the same time, and I would just do the old skipper, old man. I can't remember his name, but like the guy that gets eaten right at the end.
Robert Shaw. It's
Yeah,
Quint.
right. Yeah, and yeah, Quentin. So I would just sit there like, you ever seen a shark-sized sheep, a colored gold eyes, all black and lifeless? And everyone just like bust up laughing over this thing because this went everywhere. Like there was entire people just sitting there doing their regular jobs that were like, what the fuck is that?
I agree with this, Shankster. They should have kept that because in the book, Hooper was nailing the wife.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't keep that in.
So I have a question to ask you about this, Brian.
Yeah.
Actually, all of you. Tony, I think we spoke about this when we were at the Halloweeny roast. But so we mentioned Rob Zombie and Halloween, and his reason for making a remake was he looked at Halloween, the remakes, and thought they sucked. But then he mentioned this movie Jaws, saying he couldn't remake Jaws because one, nobody could play Robert Shaw, and two, it's perfect in every way. But he never said anything about the fucking sequels, which are horrible. Completely jack shit horrible.
I don't know, man. The one where the shark follows him to Jamaica, I think.
Yeah,
Oh God!
With Mario Van Peebles?
Yeah, they're laughs. Michael Caine.
So
and there's the 3D one is really bad
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
they're not great. They're a lot of laughs.
Every European accent all throughout the movie.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, how is his reasoning for remaking a Halloween makes no sense.
Well, his reasoning for doing the Munsters, man. Did you watch that?
No,
I did. I live tweeted it. Remember, guys?
Yeah, I didn't watch. Soul
I
told me
have not
about it,
watched
and I
the
was live tweeting it.
Munsters.
I'm like, I'm not watching this.
It was awful.
It was the worst thing. When it was just, I don't know, just not good.
Sharknado was so bad, it was good though.
Sharknado was supposed to be.
Yeah, but
that.
like that's why I like Jaws for the same reason you're liking Sharknado is the same reason I'm like Mario Van Peebles,
Oh,
Michael
God.
Caine. This is ridiculous.
Hey,
Sign me
you
up.
put some respect on him in New Jack City.
Yes,
He even said he did that movie for so he can pay for an extra house.
heck yeah.
So who's worse, Michael Caine in that Jaws movie or John Voight in Anaconda?
Dude, John Voight's a
man.
fucking legend in
John
that movie.
Voight's the fucking man. Anaconda's the shit, bro.
John Voight and Anaconda
There's
is
like 8 different languages in that movie.
Tell him not to talk shit about Anaconda.
Yeah,
bro.
Anaconda's the best, dude. Like Cerrone, come on, dude. Anaconda's are heat
Anaconda,
seekers.
the movie is
Hey,
fine.
baby bird.
It's
baby bird.
just John Voight.
Help me.
John Voight with a fake Spanish accent.
So me and my brother still like we text each other in John Voight voice, like it's just from fucking Anaconda.
You know, that guy's a total piece of shit.
Oh,
too.
he
That's the
totally
funny
is,
part. He's
yeah.
a terrible piece of shit. That's the funny part about
Yeah,
that.
he's
I don't
horrible.
understand how George Costanza got his Chrysler LeBaron though.
Yeah. The periodontist?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm planning a Seinfeld episode, so that's coming around the way.
Nice.
All right. CPG.
I think a lot. Well, at least for my generation, this was your big. You got to go see it in the theaters. It's a movie that, for the first time in many years, I would say probably since the 70s, made people question whether or not what they were watching was real or was part of fiction. I'm going with the Blair Witch Project.
Good pick.
Wow.
Good pick.
Because I think kind of like Cannibal Holocaust in the 70s, I think the director of the Blair Witch Project had to produce those actors to show that they were still alive and accounted for.
Yep.
Like there were people that were talking about that shit at school. Like, did you see the video or did you see the movie where everyone got killed at the end, or did they? And you have one, it founded the found footage genre for horror, or at least revamped it if there was one before that.
Last broadcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Good call. I forgot about that one.
And then you have the just absolute cliffhanger ending, and you have nothing but suspense. And like Exorcist, it has been parodied over and over again. Shout out to Sherry O'Terry with her nose dripping from Scary Movie 1. Over and over again. I mean, like it is in the, and like all good horror movies, it has really shitty sequels.
Yeah. That's an excellent pick. Like I remember when that movie came out, they had a website dedicated to the actors that were missing
Right.
I remember looking at that.
Why
like,
did they kick the map into the river? Can anybody explain that to me in the movie?
I don't know. It was all improv, like complete and apparently
Yeah, there was no script at all.
Yeah, they wanted to show the witch when she says like, "What the fuck is that?" But they didn't have enough money to show her like properly. So I think not showing her made it more
That's just
scarier.
more with horror most
I think-
of the time.
The unknown is sometimes more
I think
frightening than the real.
like if you paid attention, the people that paid attention to it when they talked about how she would turn the kids in the corner because she didn't like their eyes on him, and then the final scene was him with his back to him in the corner. Like it was just fucking creepy, and it was well done, and that's an excellent pick.
Good thing you were with me and my friends in the movie theater.
It
You probably would have been
fucked me
singing
up.
at me in the parking lot. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm going to read Jackie's comment real quick. She said, saw it in the theater and I live in the suburbs, so I was driving home through heavily forested areas and freaking out. When I saw it, I actually visited my sister at college. She was at the University of Missouri, and the theater we went to was in the middle of the forest. And after the movie was over, everybody just walked out of the theater and everybody just started walking into the forest. So, it's kind of a cool thing. But yeah, great pick.
Oh man, Porg Zelensky. That's a Mr. Hand classic right there. Phantasm.
Good movie.
He loves it. Yeah.
Really good movie.
Boy. I'll let Svo answer this question. Our buddy Mailman Jack was saying that The Dark Knight is kind of a horror movie.
I mean, sure. Like, there's elements to it, but to me, it feels more like a bank heist thriller throughout the whole movie. If I'm gonna put it in any genre, like the first scene is lifted right out of Heat. Like the bank robbery scene is lifted right out of Heat.
Hey, it scared the shit out of me when they made that pencil disappear. Where the fuck did it go?
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
Sorry.
All I know is that Gamble couldn't get a nickel for his grandma. But I'm not derailing anything. But like I'm saying, the thing with the Dark Knight movies is they are not superhero movies at their core. That's why they're good, because they don't focus too much on cape shit, and that was what connected them with general audiences, which made everybody a boatload of money. Because the first one's straight up mob movie, the second one is a heist film, the third one's domestic terrorism.
Shankster, Swole saw the Batman like 60 times, right?
I didn't know he's seen it yet.
You like
Wait,
Batman?
there's a new Batman movie?
No, he said the Batman was more of a horror movie.
The Batman
With your boy Robert Pattinson.
Real bad, Pat and Bat.
I like our Pat.
As the kids call him on the Twitters.
Are you an Edward or a Batman?
I'm a Team Jacob guy.
All right, Tony, what do we got round two here?
All right. I'm going to be going with another Halloween movie, but the one without Michael Myers. Halloween 3.
Terezi just gave you his vote.
There you go. I got one vote there. And the reason I'm picking this one is because it's completely different than, of course, part 1 and part 2, which are amazing. Part 2 is probably my favorite of all of them. But part 3 I like because there's something mental to the movie. It's a lot more of a mental scare than it is like a jump scare to me personally. And it took a while to get there. In my house, for some reason, growing up, we had the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch book on the shelf, and I would always pick it up and look at it, but I did not see the movie. I'd seen the other ones, and I think I'd always put it off because Michael wasn't in it. But Halloween 3, I do enjoy.
You just brought up a good question for me. You mentioned Halloween 2 is your favorite. I've heard that numerous times lately. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
That's my favorite in the series, Halloween 2.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Like I love that it picks up like exactly the same night as the original one.
Yeah.
There's no 6 months later. And she's in the hospital. It's good. It's a good sequel.
It was one of the first movies I woke up, and I'll never forget it. It was like 88 or 89. It was like on a channel 7 or a channel 5, and it was like literally all cut to pieces, like not even the scariest parts. And I woke up like in sweats, like in the bed. I was like, oh my God, I don't believe I remember what I watched. But it's that kind of stuff that you remember that I enjoy that one for that.
Interesting. I like the original more. I don't have a problem with the second one. I like that the kid from The Last Starfighter is in it. But
Arizona's up 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
I think with Oh, sorry. I think with
No, go
Halloween, though, and Halloween 2 is that you can circumvent all of the trying to decide by watching them as one movie, which is what I do most of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
If I watch Halloween, I'm watching Halloween 2. And then even though they said that it's not continuity, I will jump to the 2016 Halloween after that and watch those all together, except for, well, I'll watch them all, but like I'll get mad at the Halloween ends because the movie sucks.
They tried that same bullshit with Halloween Kills, where like they did the flashback to the same night, and then just fuck that movie, dude.
Yeah.
I initially thought about naming this episode Drafty Pod Ends Tonight.
Ooh.
But
dude, Halloween Ends was so bad
that
man, I stopped saying Evil Dies Tonight on our pod.
You were sending us messages while you were watching it. You're like, I'm 10 minutes in. It's awesome. It's awesome. And you're like, it's fucking horrible.
like when that little kid falls off the fucking stairs, and I was like, oh, that's badass. And then I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Sam, are we talking about Ween the band?
The band, yeah.
Or Weenie.
We're gonna start singing Ocean Man.
Poor Yumper had to hear a very drunk me at a tailgate just shit all over Halloween Ends.
I don't like Halloween Ends either. Like I went off on it on our series we did for it.
Mad.
I think it's funny that Shankster said "Curse of Michael Myers" or "Go fuck yourself." And that movie, isn't that the one where fucking he gets stopped by stones on the floor? Like he can't walk because there's fucking bricks on the floor.
Yeah.
the Raven crests or whatever.
Yeah. Halloween 3 I like a lot.
No, it was Revenge that had the worst mask, but that movie's actually not bad.
It was like pink.
Yeah. It wasn't even William Shatner.
I disagree. Like Revenge had the mask, and we thought it was the worst, and then they said, "Hold my beer," and then Halloween H2O came out because that mask is fucking awful.
Wait until they make Halloween 12. The floor is lava.
So, oh my god. So,
well, A24 has the rights to Halloween, or Miramax has the rights to Halloween again. So they want to reboot it into a TV show.
Well, they want to reboot Halloween 3 into a TV show, but at the end of Halloween Ends, I'm sorry if I'm going to spoil this movie. It's a piece of shit. Don't worry about seeing it. But at the end of Halloween Ends, the original ending was supposed to have them take off Michael's mask, and it had the Silver Shamrock label in it, which would kind of tied it to Halloween 3, and then they would dove into that. But Gordon Green decided to go against that, which that was a great move, I guess.
And then they brought in Corey.
God, it's so horrible.
It's so bad. So the whole fucking thing with Halloween Ends that kills me is that in the first one you establish a very clear narrative. Is Michael inherently evil? Or is there something else going on? And then could he inspire people? Could he do this? Could he do that? And you see a little bit of that in the movie because the doctor goes ape shit. And then the second one, you abandon that to just murder people for 45 minutes out of the 80-minute runtime. And then in the third one, the audience has already forgotten about the whole "is Michael evil" or "can he inspire people" thing. So then they bring it back, and it's already too late. And then Corey is just so hateable.
And then he becomes Master Splinter with Corey in the sewer, and he teaches him how to kill.
I just hate that.
Why is he in the sewer? Why is he just chilling down there?
He's hiding out,
watching movies for 7 months, not eating.
You know what he's doing? He's dropping the pin for Domino's. This is an ad, by the way. to getting pizza delivered so he can survive.
Splinter should be at home watching all of the great content that the Sadistic Penguin Studios comes out with.
Definitely.
Michael's like, "Pizza Man's got 30 seconds, man." A wise man once
I'm
said,
gonna stab that motherfucker.
"Never pay full price for elite pizza."
Jose Canseco bats. All right, Svo, let's move right along here.
All right. I'm gonna go with a movie that single-handedly brought back the slasher genre. It's my favorite, one of my favorite horror movies. Yumper's laughing, but I'm gonna go with Wes Craven's 1996 Scream. I
was typing it before you even said it.
All this.
I think Scream is an iconic movie, and I think the slasher movie would have been dead without it, and it reinvented it. And it was good, and it had some good sequels, and it had some shitty sequels.
I thought I Know What You Did Last Summer reinvented the slash. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
I will fight you.
Jack Black's great in the second one, though. in the Caribbean, and I Know What You Did Last Summer too.
With
But
Brandy,
Scream,
I still know what you did last summer.
I'm actually in the middle of right now. I just finished Scream 4 and 5 within the weekend, and I got to watch Scream 6. But I actually am finding these a lot more as I get older, even better than I did when I was younger. Like I'm getting them more. I got them before, but like
I think the only one in the series that I don't love is Scream 3. Like when you when you have Jay and Silent Bob running around like the studio lot, like it's just a little.
And the tie-in with the killer wasn't as good as the other ones, either,
right?
Really.
I stopped watching them after 3. I haven't seen any of them after 3.
Three.
I should go back to them though.
Like the whole meta thing is great for that series, but 3 goes too far with it.
I like how it kind of, again, another one that doesn't take itself seriously and kind of just pays homage to like all of the
and parody to death. You know,
right, right. That too.
That's is a catch up.
Sincerest form of flattery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Svo, what do we got?
I got
next?
another one. This one's. Do I draft with my head or do I draft? I'm gonna go with. Is one of a favorite of mine, but Trick or Treat is a movie that I absolutely love. I love the storytelling in that movie, and I love that it's 3 or 4 different stories that all tie together, kind of like Creepshow. It was a movie that was supposed to get a theatrical release, and it never did. I saw the previews at the beginning of, I can't remember what I think it was the 300 Blu-ray. And they're like, oh, coming soon to theaters, and it never got a theatrical release, and it's grown into like a cult. It has a cult following now, and I love Trick or Treat.
Without Trick or Treat, you don't get one of the greatest Christmas movies ever.
Yeah, you don't get Krampus, and you're not gonna get the third part in that series about the Easter Bunny.
Are they really making it?
That's really happening. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What horror movie about the Easter Bunny?
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope. Can't wait.
It's gonna be part of his trilogy.
Now, this one is Trick or Treat.
It's Trick or Treat. Yeah.
Do you remember a mid-'80s movie called Trick or Treat? It's a horror movie, and it's about a gentleman. Ozzy's in it. Gene Simmons is in it. Mark Price is in it. The gentleman from what show is he? Family Ties.
Mark Price, the point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers, was in it.
He could be in it too, but I don't believe that Mark Price. It's a really awesome mid-'80s under the radar horror movie called Trick or Treat. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
There was there's like a guitar player, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I've seen that many years ago.
Yeah, probably recheck it out now because it's another one where you're like,
is this one where like a character's named Ragman?
I believe I got it pulled up right here. Yes.
Okay. I've seen it before.
And Alice Cooper's in it too, isn't he? Or something like that. Yeah.
It is the directorial debut of Charles Martin Smith, who's been in a whole lot of movies before. Worth maybe check out.
So for those of you that haven't seen Trick or Treat, like myself, Svo, you want to give a little bit of
Yeah, I think Trick or Treat is like basically I would describe it as about like respecting traditions on Halloween, and it tells like 3 or 4 stories that take place on Halloween night in a town, Warrenville, Ohio, which is like the town is actually Warren, Ohio, but it's like Kelly worked in that town for a little bit. And they all take place on Halloween night. And one of them is like a werewolf story. One of them is like a vampire story. Anna Paquin's in it. Brian Cox is in it, and Dylan Baker.
Dead children.
There's a lot of dead children in it. But it's a really, really great flick. I think it's underrated, and it really has become. It's taken on like a Fight Club, like a cult classic, right now almost.
Yeah, I mean, it has Sam. Sam has become kind of.
Sam
iconic.
has become iconic. Yeah, Sam carries around the lollipop that looks like a jack-o'-lantern.
It's in Roxy's window of her apartment.
Yeah, Trick or Treat. It's a really great movie if you haven't seen it.
Brian Cox is great.
Probably just docs Roxy. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure why I've never seen it, but I just haven't.
And like if you don't
like an hour and 20 minutes, it's not a long movie.
If you don't love gory horror, but you want some sort of suspense, it's it's kind of right up your alley. It's really good.
Cool. Okay, well let's keep moving here. Tony.
All right, I'm gonna pick what is one of the scariest movies that I've seen, and it doesn't scare me as much now as it did the first time I seen it, but it was just the music in the beginning that really got me. It's The Shining.
Ooh, yep. Good pick. Good.
That was gonna be my next pick.
Good pick.
Perfect.
A great movie.
I mean, now it's it's different, but true story, could not make it through the credits the first time I watched it because of that music. And I'll never forget it. It was like my dad was working midnights. My mom went to bed. It was me by myself. And it was just like, dun, 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 and I was just like, nope, I'm not doing this.
Nope, out of here.
Dude,
too scary for me, which is weird because I'd already watched Halloween 2 and all these other movies at that point.
Right.
But, it's more of a psychological horror than I think like a Michael Myers type of horror. But
my roommate in college was terrified of the twins. So he used to watch, like, we watched the movie when we were in our dorm, and when the music played, he like covered his head. Just like a 19-year-old man. And then like when the girls came out, he's like, ah. But yeah, it's iconic in a way. You had like an Oscar-winning fucking actor, Jack Nicholson, playing Mr. Torrance, and then you had Stanley Kubrick. Just the way Stanley Kubrick shot it, it's parodied and a lot of things that Simpsons parodied it.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Yeah,
no TV and no beer make Homer.
No, what's really
do you want to get sued, boy?
The remake is so bad, it's scary.
Oh, the TV movie with Steven Weber.
Yes.
They go a little bit
that,
too much into what the book was.
Yeah, they try to follow the oh my god, Alicia Burt. My brother loves that movie.
Oh, do you have the shit?
I actually used Tales from the Hood in Drag Me to Hell, the video I did this week. It's actually it's in there.
Is it coming up? Oh, nice.
Oh, I released it.
Oh, yes,
it has two of them in there. It has the second one and the first one from Tales from the Hood. Little clips in there.
I love like anthology movies like that where they're just stories. Like I think those are super dope. And I know that's why Yumper loves like Creepshow.
I love Cat's Eye, Creepshow. You go down
Cat's Eye. It's another great movie, Tony.
What's Tales from the Dark Side? The movie is a good one. As you said,
I forgot about Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye is fucking great.
A little troll.
They remade it last. They remade it last year. It was fucking awful.
Yeah, I bet. They did. Oh my jeez, no. But that's why Tales from the Crypt was my favorite show because it was like you got a whole movie in 30 minutes. I mean, come on, and it's like that's it.
It was hosted by the former owner of the Raiders, Al Davis. If you ever look at a picture of Al Davis and a picture of the Crypt Keeper, it's the same fucking person.
Just win, baby.
I think with The Shining, the coolest thing about it is, so I, obviously have seen every comic book movie ever made, and when I went to go see Doctor
Punisher
Strange,
Warzone.
I saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. I've seen Punisher Warzone where a RPG blows up a guy jumping from rooftop to rooftop. But the coolest thing with The Shining is that in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, there's a scene where like a possessed Wanda is chasing our heroes through these tunnels, and it's shot for shot the maze scene from The Shining, and it's really cool. It is straight up shot for shot.
Yes.
Stay away from my breath has got me laughing. That's
yeah. I giggled at that one too.
My breath. Oh, that's good.
All right, CPG. Let's go round 3, pick 3.
All right, for this one, we've done the slasher, we've done the found footage. Let's go to space. Let's go with Alien. Right, pure isolation and terror. There's nothing more claustrophobic than that movie. To me, especially growing up, like my dad was really big into that kind of science fiction stuff, and that was the one movie that when I was a kid I could never like. There's something about how the movie is shot is so constricting, and that where you feel like there's nowhere where you can go, and you're just being stalked the entire time.
Sorry, I just hit my parlay. That's why.
It's just well done, the whole thing. I haven't seen it in years. I really need to go back and watch it, but yeah, from what I remember, just really well done.
The tagline was "Nobody can hear you scream in space," and it's done in isolation. like you said, CPG. It has great jump scares, and it just created a whole genre. I mean, of course, the sequels haven't been. Well, the second one is very, very good, but the sequels after that haven't been, up to par. But it's kind of hard to remake or extend, a sequel when something is so iconic and it's perfectly done the first time.
It's the genre pivoting.
Are you saying starting with Alien 3? Is that what you're saying? With
Actually, I like Alien 3. I'm more into like the Alien versus Predator movies, and I like they're what they are. Like, I don't think they're great films.
No.
I wasn't really a big fan of Prometheus. That's just me.
Oh.
Yeah, I like Prometheus a lot.
Amazing.
I thought Prometheus answered a lot of more so of the lore of the universe, but I think the main problem with anything that came after Alien was that it changed genres. Like Alien 2 to me was more of an action movie than it really was like a horror movie, which I know that Tony and I disagree on that. Alien 3 goes more into that's your David Fincher on the mining.
How are you taught? Like, it's more of how are you taught it? Because if you're saying out loud that your dad liked the first one that much, and that means then probably that your dad didn't like the other one.
Roxy,
like someone's not biased here.
CPG. He's your boyfriend.
Yeah, like someone's not biased here.
Jen, vote for me. If my wife's in here, vote for me.
But like me being an 8-year-old kid watching both of those movies, and then I saw part 3 in the movie theater too, and the reason part 3 for me isn't as good as the other ones because it doesn't move the way the other two move. The first one moves good because, like you said, it's that claustrophobic.
Yeah.
The second one's kind of like back to Halloween 2, pedal to the metal, but you got more things to work with. But I definitely agree with you. Alien is super, super scary. So I think it's a good movie, a great movie.
Sweet.
I think you're a
great
great movie.
I think you're a great movie. Yeah. I'm gonna keep going with a theme of movies that were came out before I was born. So, this one's off the path a bit. It's a family tradition for us to watch this. I'm going with, was it 1940? I can't remember the year, but I'm going with The Bad Seed.
Oh, I thought you were
good movie.
Movie 1941. I was like, what?
If you haven't seen The Bad Seed, it's about a little girl that's a serial killer, and it's made 70 years ago. So it scared the shit out of everybody. It's about a woman whose daughter, a kid at school, ends up drowned, and then the janitor in the apartment building ends up dying, and all these things keep happening, and it turns out his her 8-year-old daughter is killing people. And as she digs in further and further and further, it turns out that she's adopted, and her real mother, this is the kid's mom, her mom is a famous serial killer. So it's all in black and white. It's that old, and it's frightening. And the little girl in it she's a terrible actress, but she's fucking amazing in it. So I'm going Bad Seed.
You ever see The Good Son?
Yes. With Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood.
You think you could fly?
I like the Page Master better.
Page Master.
Page Master.
Page Master. Oh man. All right, Yumper, you got your last two here.
Oh man. So this is hard because I kind of want to draft a certain film that Swole knows which one, but I'll probably just not because I love it so much.
I know what you're talking about.
It's the Serbian film, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I almost drafted it just now, but I'm gonna go with my theme of only drafting movies that came out before I was born.
I thought about taking it at the trick or treat spot, but I was like, no, Yump will kill me.
No.
That's why I didn't take it either, because I wanted him to be able to take it.
No, I'm not gonna take it. Actually, I'm gonna go with I have a list of 50 movies here, so I'm gonna go with actually my backup to CPG's second round pick, and that's Paranormal Activity.
Oh, that's a good fucking pick.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to take Paranorman?
Ooh, Paranorman.
Is that the the Eddie Murphy movie where he plays everybody and it's
No, that's
So that's Norbit.
That's Norbert. Paranormal's like a CGI.
No, that's
one.
Beverly Hills Cop CPG.
I like the Money Pit.
I like Money Pit.
But Paranormal Activity, I think, expanded the found footage film. I think it did of course it was more polished, but made for cheaply. I think it cost like 40,000 to make, and it made like 90 million, maybe more.
Awesome.
Definitely a great story. I'm not a big fan. I'm a big fan of the second sequel, but not the ones after it. But I thought the movie carried well and left a lot of things, and you actually don't see what's going on, but you find out at the end that it turns into the killer is possessed through the demon. And I thought it was crazy how everything was done. It's not as believable because everybody kind of got fooled by the Blair Witch Project, but I think it still gives you the suspense. It still kind of creeps you out with what's going on when you hear the basically it sounds like the air conditioner kicking on, and then you hear the footsteps, and then you see shit happen. I really enjoyed that one. I actually saw that in theater, and the person I was with was terrified that I had to follow her around her house when she, had to do something.
I literally knew you were there.
I literally shit my pants in that movie theater.
Did you eat a bucket of chicken?
Why are you so obsessed with the bucket of chicken?
What year did Paranormal Activity come out?
I think it came out in 2007 or 2008.
I remember I was in high school, and I remember going to see it, and I remember that my group of friends or like my group of whatever, we were just sort of like, there was either it just didn't hit us or we were just desensitized at that point. Glitter is absolutely terrifying. But I don't know, Paranormal Activity to me just kind of like, and maybe it was because of Blair Witch Project where I was like, this isn't real. There's no way. There's nothing about this that carried any weight. But I think for that generation, like people who were, maybe, younger at that point, kind of like Fourth Kind just wrecked people for days when it came out. It's just,
I didn't even care that it wasn't real. I just thought it was creepy that we watched something happen in this person's house and it was shot like it was real, right? Like they didn't try to
invasion of privacy, right?
Yeah, I thought that was the creepy part about that movie. It was fucking dope. I think that's an absolute steal pick in the third round.
Yeah,
but that's why you're my fucking podcast partner, Yump.
It was released in 2009 to CPG, but
it made it. I just looked it up too. It made it in 2007, but it released in 2009. So
yeah, and Jackie, it's actually the girl that hovers over her boyfriend.
The marketing was fantastic. Like they had trailers where it was like, this movie is so scary, people are like freaking out, and then they had video of them people sitting night vision.
It wasn't like that at all. Come on.
No, but it was awesome, man. It was good jump scares, and it was creepy.
It was.
And I even liked in the sequels where they got into the backstories of Toby the demon, and I like that shit.
We'll get way later. Aren't we talking about the ones we dislike later? I'll wait till later.
Wait, so you hate? Wait, so it's
you took Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and you're gonna talk shit about Paranormal Activity.
Hey, and you like the last 4 Scream movies they're really awesome.
All right, so on my last pick, I'm going another sequel. A sequel
Yumper,
movie.
hang on. Take it. Just take
I want to take this one though. This one's so good.
I'm gonna take it with my last pick and just let you talk about it.
Oh, okay, I'm going with Dr. Sleep for my last pick.
I started watching that last night,
which I think is a perfect sequel, perfectly written to The Shining. I think it's just on par as the book as it is in the film. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. I love the way it's everything intertwines together. King was a big fan of it. I'm a huge fan of it. I was a person that read The Shining over and over when I was younger. And then reading this book and then listening to the audio version of it by Will Patton, actually, who does it, which is pretty cool. I loved it. And watching what Ian McGregor was awesome in it. It's just, I think it was a perfect way to close out the Shining series.
Yes, Sam, it is the Ewan McGregor one. Yeah, I watched like an hour of it, and yeah, I was enjoying it. I don't. Something about the story about them like being hunted was a little weird to me, but
so it ties. It's in the book. It's like it's a little bit more background, but it makes sense in the movie how they explain why they do it.
Yeah,
and then it has like one of the toughest like scenes I've seen in in horror movies. Just like I don't know if you got to that part yet, but it's pretty tough to watch.
That's why I stopped halfway through, because I was like, I gotta do this in part because I gotta think about this and then go back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like one of those.
Yeah. I love that movie. If you guys haven't seen it, like I did a small review of it for our channel, but like there's so much I could do a whole episode on the Shining
Your
series.
explanation though for Doctor Sleep is the same reason why I think I like Prometheus in the alien genre, is because I think Doctor Sleep is going deeper into different things, but it's still it's good. But on par, like the same as the original Shining. Is that what you're saying?
On par? No. The Shining itself is the book is excellent and the movie is excellent. I'm saying on par, like there's always that saying that the book's so much better than the movie. Like in this sense, I think this movie's on par as the book, and it gives a nice atonement, and it pays homage to the original, but also recreating its own following, and I think it adds its own little spice to it, which I loved about it.
It was good. I liked it.
Okay. So yeah, I am gonna use my last pick for Yumper just because it kind of pisses me off that you didn't pick Evil Dead. So I'm gonna go Evil Dead 2.
Oh, that was
Or do you want me to take the original Evil Dead?
That was what I was gonna pick, was Evil Dead 2.
Of course, that's the one everybody loves. I got into it with my boss a little bit today because he was like, I like Army of Darkness better. I'm like, it's good, but come on.
Dude,
that's a comedy one.
That movie,
they're all comedy, dude.
So my cousin, who I believe is in the room still, my cousin Josh, and I used to rent this movie every time we would hang out. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I've seen Evil Dead 2 at least 4,000 times. So,
well, Sam, they're both directed by the same director. Both Doctor Strange 2 and Evil Dead, Sam Raimi. And there's a lot of Evil Dead in that movie, because if you look at when he becomes the possessed Strange, when he goes into the dead Strange, it's like basically an Evil Dead cameo. Evil Dead to me is iconic in the sense that it has Bruce Campbell in it, and I love Bruce Campbell and everything he's done, including the fucking show where he was a cowboy. Anything with Bruce Campbell, I will watch.
He does Hallmark movies now.
Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep's one of my favorite films.
Bubba Hotep's great.
Such an underrated actor that doesn't take himself too seriously and still pays homage to the genre and knows where he came from. As for the Evil Dead's one of my favorite TV series. We had the thing on that for our draft. That was one of my ones I picked. Like Evil Dead's one of my favorite movies. I throw that on. It's not even, to me, it's horror, but it's like comical.
It's comforting because it's fucking hilarious, though. You know what I mean? Like
this is the one where he fights with his fucking hand.
Yeah. And his hand walks away and it like flicks him off and it walks away. Like
it's so good. And it had the one of the first horror films to have the camera attached to the chest, where like the shots were running in on him. It's just great, man. I love the Evil Dead series.
Sorry, Jackie. I stole your Hallmark anecdote.
He was the best Usher in Spider-Man. He was actually supposed to be Mysterio in the Spider-Man 4.
I mean, he's even good in that stupid movie about the superhero high school. What is it, Sky High?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's the gym teacher, basically.
Dude,
Bubba Hotep's fucking great.
That's
Elvis, bro.
Good cheer, you little six-legged bastard. He's got a fucking this fucking scarab underneath a piss jar.
Ozzie Davis thinks he's or he is
JFK. Dude, that movie's so great too. Oh my god,
so crazy.
My buddy Brian was like, "We're watching Bubba Hotep." I'm like, "What?" And then we watch it. It's like, this is amazing. This is great.
Anything with Bruce Campbell.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir. Just for you. And I wanted to take it. I'm just fucking with you. I even broke my movies that were made after before I was born streak for you.
Oh, that's love, bro.
All right, CPG. What do we got?
I'm really torn because I've done the slasher, I've done the paranormal, I've done the found footage, and I've done space and aliens. And there's a couple genres of horror that are left. There's so many iconic movies for so many, like these last three that I've got in my brain. But I think because of this particular movie, it spawned other franchises to follow suit, even though the message got lost. Not only in the film series that followed the original, but not even that is that the message didn't really carry over unless you're like Guillermo del Toro and you went vegetarian for an entire year after watching it, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is 80 minutes of just high anxiety. It is a phenomenal movie because you don't see people get killed one time in that movie. It relies on you, the person, to make up in your head what you think is going on, and that is infinitely more terrifying.
Yep.
It's also probably one of the movies, like out of all the horror movies that have been remade, has one of the better remakes that have come out. That not only updated it, but kind of kept a little bit of the original in there. And I think that Texas Chainsaw, without Texas Chainsaw, you don't get Saw, you don't get Hostel, you don't get any of those types of really like hardcore.
No,
like,
what would we do without those?
Right. But like they're not right. They're not phenomenal, but they birthed this other genre out of the fact that you can't see what's going on, therefore your mind fills it in. That it's a definition of less is more. And of course, Leatherface is iconic. You can't get much better than that in terms of someone to chase you around with a fucking chainsaw in the middle of nowhere, Texas.
Which sequel was it where they made the promotional poster? It was the exact same poster as
The
Breakfast Club.
Part two.
Yeah. That's
I did a
so
review on that.
fucking amazing.
I did a review on that for us this year.
So
Part two.
good. Yeah.
Dennis Hopper, baby.
Fucking Dennis Hopper. Crazy.
He's so good in that. Also, horny Leatherface is the best Leatherface. I mean,
Oh my god, yeah.
He's unbelievably horny in that movie.
Like it's aroused his chainsaw. So I was like,
it is funny because if you watch everything that he's got, the like the fucking chainsaw in the first couple shots is shot in a way where the chainsaw looks short. But when that woman starts talking to him and he starts
it gets bigger and bigger.
It gets, and then when it's shot, it's like, oh, this thing is long as fuck. Which, like,
it. And the funny thing is, it was directed by Toby Hooper, who directed the first one. I also love the fact that Chop Top's in it. Like,
Brian Mosley, right? Or
Brad Mosley, I think it is.
Bill Mosley.
Bill Mosley. Thank you, sir.
And
I met him. He's actually a nice guy.
On a wig.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre was like the movie that was advertised as it's so scary it can't be shown. It's based off a true story. The iconic noise of not the chainsaw, but of the actual camera taking the picture of the from the light flashing is still used and iconic. I love the opening scene when you find the basically the body just posed on top of the gravestone.
Oh yeah, and then having you probably know the actor before I do. The guy who was on Night Court. He's the guy that read all that.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
What the fuck
He's fun. He's funny as hell.
Night Court. The judge.
No, it wasn't him.
It was like Harry Anderson. What?
Not Harry Anderson. Harry Anderson was Richie.
Richard Mole.
Was it Bull?
No, it was the.
I'll tell you right now, I'm looking.
Because they brought him back for the game when the game came out earlier this year.
Speaking of which, we've Yumper and I have discussed we should start a game club for playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
He plays
John LaRoque.
John LaRoque. He plays the prosecutor in that.
Oh, John Larroquette. Okay.
John Larroquette. There you go.
Thank you, Shankster.
Thank you. Whatever French ancestry allows you to pronounce that name.
You know, the character actor John Larroquette's been looking for a meaty character piece to sink his teeth into. Sorry, that's from Arrested Development. All right, Tony.
All right, I'm going to go into the slasher genre, and I'm going to pick the first Child's Play.
Oh, I just watched that the other day. My wife never seen that movie. Never seen it.
I just enjoy that they keep showing more. They keep making more and more like TikToks of the scene where the doll just starts screaming at the woman before she throws. And the Spanish one is so fucking.
Oh, dude, I finally sent that one to my mom, and she was laughing like. So Jen kind of got it now too, because Jen never saw the movie until we watched it the other day. We watched the sequel yesterday.
TV show's pretty good too. It's
I heard that.
Yeah, the TV show's not bad.
If you like it's Evil Dead show is really good. Child's Play show. Is
it the same voice?
Brad Dourif.
Yeah, it's Brad Dourif.
It's Mark Hamill. No, I'm just kidding.
Mark, what did you think of the remake?
It is what it was.
Terrible. It wasn't terrible.
I like what they did with it. I mean,
Yeah,
it was upgraded.
Unique. I thought it was I wasn't mad at it.
I support anything that gives Jennifer Tilly work.
Yes.
Dude, she's a professional poker player, bro.
Yeah.
Liar, liar, man. That was
Yeah, no, Child's Play's great. There's certain scenes that always pop in my head when I think of that movie, and there's a scene where the doll is just like laying in the elevator.
Oh,
and the old couple, they're like, "What an ugly doll!" And he just looks up and he goes, "Fuck you."
I think for me, like when he's transferring his soul into the doll, and it's a whole ceremony. He's like, "Arubum Satan Bella." Like, give me the power, I beg of thee.
It's so bad.
I love
so bad and so good.
Bride of Chucky's pretty good. Seed of Chucky isn't so good. Child's Play 2 is good.
Like the kid that looks like the emaciated doll. It's so bad.
It was bad. Really bad.
We're friends to the end. This is the end. He throws him in fire. So
Comes
good.
back all charred at the end. That's great. Is the second one they just like removed the char and like put like it into the new one.
I think that movie kind of took it like a portion of like the millennial generation, and they were afraid of dolls.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or like
They're
I
always
guess
at
that
the
was
carnival.
What would that be? Gen X then? I guess maybe. I don't know. That's my
Carnival, too. Could never win the Chucky doll.
Well, yeah, and it was all an idea based off of the My Buddy dolls.
Yeah.
Same concept.
They were the same fucking doll pretty much. They just gave him red hair instead.
Problem Child.
Yeah, Jack Problem Child is another horror movie. Just because Gilbert Godfrey's in it. Sorry.
You can draw a direct connotation from Child's Play to Problem Child to Clifford starring Martin Short. It's just very creepy redheaded children doing terrible.
He wants to go to Dinosaur Land.
Stefan.
That movie's fucking great.
Oh, it's so
and
good.
it's so bad. He's on his knees the whole time.
Yeah, it's him just looking up at Charles Grodin for 80 minutes. You know, I don't think anyone should be that close to Charles Grodin, like ever.
He's like, "Can you look normal for 1 minute?" He's like, so good. All right, Svo. What Batman movie are we taking last?
I can't believe nobody picked it, but I gotta take. I'm not gonna go with the original one because Jason's not in it. So I'm gonna go with Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh my god.
Excellent.
So bad, but good.
It's so awful, but I absolutely love it. Like the dude tries to box
The greatest box
Jason on the
scene-
rooftop.
yeah.
I just love the disco scene on the boat. That's my favorite.
Oh, the disco scene, the heavy metal music videos in the bowels of the boat.
Yes. Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge Friday the 13th guy, but that one and then the original one, those are my two movies, man.
I love
I will watch the shit out of both of them.
I probably rented Friday the 13th Part 8 47 times.
Yeah,
Like,
it was the
is
first one I
so
actually watched.
fucking
It was
good.
the first one I saw. So
I think with like the funniest thing about Jason Takes Manhattan is it came out 3 years after the Muppets took Manhattan, and the Muppets never tried to take it back. Like, Manhattan belonged to Jason after.
Well, I loved in the last Scream movie, like they're watching, like it takes place in New York City, and it's the first Scream movie that doesn't take place in California, and they're watching Jason Takes Manhattan in the apartment scene. I just thought it was like, I just love Friday the 13th Part 8.
Oh, yeah.
No marathon, man. We all suck.
Man.
I got another round because I
Is
got
it
another
safe?
pick that didn't get picked. That
I mean,
think I can pick.
we could do another round if you guys want.
I don't care. I'll do another round.
You guys in, or do you want to just do dump lists? We're at an hour 15 right now.
It's totally up to you. It's your show, man.
Your show, boss. We're here to support you.
Why don't let's just start doing dump lists?
Okay.
But real quick, let's each go one by one. And what's your favorite horror sequel? I know some of us have already picked some, but is Friday the 13th Part 8 your favorite sequel to a horror movie?
No, I would say Halloween 2 is my favorite sequel. I love the OG Halloween 2.
Okay. Yeah, we already talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Tony?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna go Creep Show 2.
Yep,
Ooh,
that's pretty much my pick too.
That makes up for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch for me.
You don't like Season of the Witch?
It's just not my thing. Like, I get why people like it. It's just not for me.
I think with Season of the Witch, though,
I never got through it, honestly. I like Halloween movies. It's like one of the few like quote unquote franchises that I'll just sit down and watch them all. I could never get into that one. I'm with Svo on that.
I think with Season of the Witch, and Yump, you'll probably be like, you could probably back me up on this, is that for a long time, Season of the Witch this is an underrated movie. You have to watch it. It's not that bad. People watch it. This is a great concept, cool movie. Everyone's cool. But that narrative has flipped so fucking hard in the last couple of years that now it's an insufferable amount of people being like, have you seen Season of the Witch? I'm like, yeah, dude, I saw it when it wasn't that great and that guy got his eyes raked out. Like,
I don't think that way, because I think like that's why I started doing 31 Days of Horrors, because I want to put films out that people haven't heard about and just pique up interest to. I mean, like Jacob's Ladder. Not a lot of people talk about that movie's fucked up, and it's
that's
scary.
a fucked up movie, Yump.
Yeah, but like people don't really talk about when they mention horror, like with Jacob's Ladder. Like that's what I don't mind that it gets more popular now and people are more talking about it. But because I think that the more popular it gets, it just validates my feelings on it before. Oh, that was in Bordello of Blood. Dust Till Dawn is on my dump list. Matt.
That's a good one.
Corey Feldman was like just a nasty vampire by the end of that.
Did you ever watch the making of that Texas Blood Money?
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Well, no, I'm not sorry. What was it called? Yeah, it was Texas Blood Money. It was like the making of from Dust Till Dawn stuff. It was pretty cool.
George Clooney, baby.
Yeah, buddy, I fucking love.
That was Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
and Quentin Tarantino cast himself in a role that had Salma Hayek put her foot in his mouth.
Of course he did.
Why wouldn't you?
God. When him as a vampire just made him look even more fucking creepy.
That was fucking bizarre.
When the girl's dad gets taken, he turns around and he's just like, and you're like, oh fuck, man.
You know, a movie I like a lot that they're doing a new trilogy for. I don't know if that's necessary, but I like The Strangers.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's high tension. The Strangers is super high tension, and like it fucked with me for a long time.
That's the invasion of privacy, man. Like when Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, Scott Speedman's lead singer, Creed. No,
well, that's Scott.
Yeah,
Stapp.
no, you got him.
It's Florida State legend Scott Stapp.
And they're in the scene together,
Zach.
And they're kind of like having their moment, and you just see the guy come out in the background, and you're like, dude, like that level of like invasion of privacy, and two of like they're just completely unaware of this dude who's literally gonna, could potentially
is Tamara home? When he keeps calling the door, is Tamara home?
It's good.
It's good stuff. Did you see Your Next?
I did.
I've not seen Your Next.
It's pretty good stuff too. What about Barbarian? Did you like Barbarian?
Barbarian was great.
Brian, didn't you want to do your least favorite horror movie sequel?
Oh, you gotta go with your favorite horror sequel first.
Yeah.
Oh.
CPG, do you have one?
I do like Friday the 13th Part 2 because that's when you start establishing like Jason and stuff. There's good kills in that too, and it's not like my favorite thing about the Jason sequels is that like you don't start like seeing the machete as a mainstay until way late in that franchise. Everyone associates the machete with Jason, and that he's getting people with like pitchforks and all kinds of stuff. That one's really fun. That one I really enjoyed on the Friday the 13th like rewatch that I did. Cool. Also Wishmaster too, because dude puts his head up his own ass. That's fucking fantastic. And the guy that plays Wishmaster in that just goes off the rails with the accent and the voice. And as he's persuading prisoners to take wishes, it just gets more exaggerated. But I go with Friday the 13th Part 2 for the sequels. I definitely enjoy watching that one.
It was great in Toy Soldiers.
I love Toy Soldiers, dude.
I know.
It's a great movie. I'm gonna go with The Godfather 3 because Sofia Coppola just scared the shit out of me in that movie.
That's funny.
No, I'm actually gonna go, and a lot of people don't realize that this is actually a sequel, but I'm gonna go with Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh.
Because Silence of the Lambs is actually
That's
a sequel to the movie.
yeah.
What is it, Mindhunter or
Manhunter?
Manhunter. I'm sorry. And if you haven't seen that, it's pretty fucking.
The original
great.
Manhunter is very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's got the
David Fincher's new movie is going to be in limited theaters and then right to Netflix November 10th. The Killer. It's supposed to be really fucking good. Shot in St. Charles.
That was one shot here. Okay.
Shot in St. Charles.
Yeah. I remember when they were putting up the crane and all that
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Cool. Yumper, what's your favorite sequel?
So Evil Dead 2 is up there, but something that's been like growing on my list that I've become very, very like happy and was really happy when I first saw it is actually Prey, which is a sequel to Predator.
Hell yeah, dude!
I really like the way the movie's done. It kind of ties back to Predator 2 when he finds the gun. He gives the gun from the Predator. It kind of fills into that, but I loved it a lot. I like the fact that they even dummy down like the Predator's technology because it was shot back in the 1700s,
right?
And it's like a badass, and it has actually a female hero that fucking fights the fucking Predator, which I thought was awesome.
Mid Thunder, man, she was great in that.
Cool. Okay. Now, I was looking at a bunch of lists of horror movies, like rankings, and I saw a couple of them had the movie Gremlins on it. That's Gremlins, a horror movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's a horror.
Which brings me to is Violent Night a horror movie?
Yeah, it's Black Christmas too.
The Violent Night. No, that's the one with David Harbour.
No.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah. There's a couple.
There's a Mortal Kombat fatality if Santa was able to.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Violent Night, if you're watching or listening to this, if you haven't seen Violent Night, go fucking watch it right now.
It was so fucking good. It was so good.
Oh my god, so good.
John Leguizamo's best performance since like either The Pest or The Giant
Pest
or Spawn.
Zoe hates.
Or Spawn.
What do I hate?
Oh, not you, Zoe. Zoe hates The Pest.
Oh.
I love that movie.
I like him in Spawn.
All right. Well, what's the worst horror movie of all time?
Or of all time? I mean, some of them are so bad they're good.
Yeah.
But what's one that's like really bad to the point where it's really bad?
Manos, Hands of Fate.
Manos, the Hands of Fate is.
There's no redeeming qualities even on like a comedy level.
I mean, I think that's like, well, I mean, everything's but Jason X in space.
I like Jason X.
Oh God,
Jason X serves its purpose. I mean, there's
God.
A lot of people say Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is really bad. I think it is.
Yeah, if you're a homophobe, you don't like it. If you're a homophobe,
I think that Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is an achievement of queer cinema, and
absolutely
it is phenomenal for that measure of it. Because there is a man who is killed by balls in that, which is great. But
Christ.
what like bad horror movies? There are a dime a dozen. You could have the Gingerbread Man movies with Gary Busey. Evil Bong's pretty terrible. Gary Busey is the Gingerbread Man.
I'll tell you,
Ginger Dead Man or whatever it's called.
On a serious list, I don't love I love Wes Craven movies. I love John Carpenter movies. I don't love Clive Barker movies that much. Like I'm not a big Clive Barker guy.
Hellraiser. I like that. Because like Hellraiser would have been my 5th round pick because Hellraiser. I've been watched Hellraiser as a kid. To me, I was scared because I was a kid. But then as I watched it when I was a teenager, I was like, I don't get it. I honestly don't understand it. And then after like kind of getting older and stuff, I would start to like, I'm like, oh, I kind of get Hellraiser where it's supposed to. The whole point of Hellraiser, as far as I could interpret it, because the movie's not very coherent, is that heaven and hell, angels and demons, doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. Pleasure, pain, blah, blah, whatever. So you get the puzzle box, blah, blah, whatever, and you want to get out, but you can't get out. But if you get out, they're going to come for you and stuff like that. Every movie after Hellraiser, like 3 is terrible. But I understand the message of Hellraiser. Like Hellraiser for that is good. And the practical effects in it are awesome. The best is when they open the door and that thing's running on its front legs while its back legs are up here, and you can see the wheel that it's on while it's coming at you. But
Part 2?
I think it's
part 2 when in the hospital.
Yeah, then it's two's got that guy in it,
But
all that Clive Barker shit, that's how you get your Wishmasters and all that. It's what funded all that shit, which is fun. Wes Craven was Wishmaster. Was it? Probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wishmaster, they're just direct, I got Pinhead, I got Wishmaster,
The Jinn.
So right now I have queued up here a list of horror movies ranked by worldwide box office numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to present it, or should I ask you guys to guess?
Worst horror movies?
No, the highest grossing.
Oh, highest grossing? We can guess it. Yeah, I guess that would be fun to guess. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, number 1. It blows every single one out of the water. $701 million. Box office worldwide.
The Sixth Sense.
No.
Jaws.
Jaws is number 2.
Oh.
Was this movie made before or after Jaws?
After. It's relatively recent.
How much did it make?
701 million.
Is it Doctor Strange?
No.
701.
Is Doctor Strange a horror movie?
Doctor Strange 2.
Kind of. It kind of was.
Not according
recent?
to this.
It's recent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the first 701 million. Jaws is 482 million. Now, if you look at it in terms of economics, I mean, Jaws still blows it out in terms of ticket sales. But yes, Mailman Jack's right. It was actually Maverick.
Great movie.
It was Wild Wild West.
Now it's funny because It is number 1, Jaws is number 2, and then It Chapter 2 is number 3,
which is a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's not as good. I mean, like the casting for it was spot on, but everything else in it sucked.
There, I'll just do that.
It was not huge.
Ooh, that's
I still have never seen The Nun.
Now this worldwide box office, keep in mind. So if The Nun did well in another country,
Istanbul.
Near Dark. I've seen Near Dark, Darren. Near Dark's a very good movie.
Look at the Resident Evil final chapter. Domestic 26 million, international 287 million.
That movie is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen a Nun series. I kind of fell off on the Conjuring series. Like
the Conjuring and Conjuring 2 are very good. The spin-offs are hit or miss.
The thing that kind of like turns
I don't
me
like
off
Insidious
is the Warrens are fucking pieces of shit people.
Oh, the Warrens are awful. They're terrible people in real life. They're made into fucking Marvel superheroes in those fucking movies. But like it's cool little stories that went along with the stuff that they, contributed to. Why is The Nun 2 so fucking high on this list?
Again, those are it did really well internationally. If you look at the international numbers, it's like top 10. So. But
2018 Halloween is at 18.
Yeah. Let's go down a little further. There's Blair Witch, The
Get
Ring,
Out.
Interview with the Vampire, Jaws 2. Jaws 2 is a big pile of shit.
Well, it's because of Jaws 1. That's why it got.
Well, like the whole conflict of Jaws 2, like Roy Scheider shows up and kills the fucking shark in like 3 seconds. The whole thing it's so stupid.
Wow, Bram Stoker's Dracula was Gary Oldman was Dracula, right? 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did well internationally.
I still haven't seen
So many
Smile.
Conjuring movies.
That was a very good movie, Swole. I actually have that on my dump list.
You talked about it, like you put it in what we've watched, and I haven't seen it.
It's worth it. Like it's like I know it's kind of funny because B-Flow, me and him had a discussion at 108 Day where I was giving him shit because he said he actually liked Halloween Ends and he didn't like Smile. I'm like, how the fuck do you like? But I thought Smile was very good. It's a different take on like a horror story. Different. It's like more curse. It's more deals with a curse.
All right, guys, let's go dump list in here. Well, why don't we go backwards? Jumper, go first.
Okay, I have Candyman.
Yep.
The original Candyman. The sequels.
He
the
liked
remakes are
your
bad.
tweet.
Yes, Tony
Or
Todd.
he
love that
liked
guy.
your video.
Hell
I
yeah,
mean.
dude.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, that's the only movie that's ever scared me as a kid. It was just crazy. Hellraiser was I had on there. I have Guillermo del Toro's Devil's Backbone, great ghost story movie. Silver Bullet with Gary Busey and Corey Haim.
Silver Bullet
Love
is
that movie.
fucking great. Yeah, that's a classic in my house when we were growing up.
The Gate, which is another great movie I grew up on. Dracula, the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi. Frailty, The Ring 1 and 2. Ringu, which was based off.
Yep.
And I have another film called Audition, which is
Oh,
basically
man. Holy shit.
torture horror, but it is so good.
It's a phenomenal movie, but it is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with. So those are the movies I have.
Sweet.
Mhm.
All right. I have a bunch too, but let's just go. I mean, obviously, Night of the Living Dead.
Mhm.
I would have probably taken that in the last round. The original Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, so good.
Excellent.
I hadn't seen it until I was well into my 30s, and I was like laying on the couch one night, like 2:00 in the morning, and I like popped it on, and so good. Misery.
Great.
I love Misery. Brandy still hasn't seen that. I've been wanting to show her for years and years, and I never have.
Book's very good too.
And then I that was one of the few Stephen Kings I did get through when I was younger reading. Creepshow 2 we already talked about. That was on my list. American Werewolf in London.
It's very good.
The Dead. You ever see The Dead Zone? Yumper and I talked about that one the other
That's
day.
gonna be
Yeah,
that's coming
Dead
up this
Zone's
week.
great.
That's will be on the 28th. Will be the Dead Zone.
Christopher Walken is so good in that. So is Martin Sheen.
Yeah, he's ridiculous as the president. Press the button. Press it.
My favorite part is when Christopher Walken grabs the dad. He's, the ice is gonna break.
Another one too with Walken, Prophecy. That's another good one.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude.
Poltergeist.
Toby Hooper directed that.
Henry, Portrait of Serial Killer. We
Yes,
talk about that
I know
over and
what
over and
that
over
is.
again.
It's a classic right there.
Carrie. I drafted Psycho. Also, The Birds is fucking frightening. Children of the Corn. The original one. 28 Days Later. We talked about that
Great
one
movie.
recently.
Good
Yeah.
one.
Another contributor to the running zombie. Yeah.
And then finally, it's number one in my heart, but I couldn't draft it tonight. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes, it's a
Fantastic
great movie
movie.
too.
Good one.
We have the entire set of Killer Clowns Funko Pops.
So do I. Great
So,
movie.
So yeah, that's my list. Nothing recent ever. I haven't kept up with horror movies over the years. And
Check out the Black Phone, Brian. I think you would like that one.
Oh, Black Phone was fucking.
by the way,
tits, bro.
Yumper and I are planning a watch party on Playback. We're gonna watch Killer Sofa one night.
Sweet.
Oh
I'm in.
yeah.
Just fucking.
We
call
we
me.
found it. We found it on YouTube where there's no restriction, so we can watch it on Playback.
Sweet.
So we're gonna watch Killer Sofa, which is funny because the poster is of a recliner, but it's a killer sofa.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Really dropped the ball on that one, huh?
It's kind of like how the icon for ICP is called Hatchet Man, yet he's holding a cleaver.
CPG, what do you got on yours?
For me, I've got the for recent, I would say No One Will Save You on Hulu is one of the greatest alien movies of the past probably 15, 20 years. Definitely deserves a watch. It is minimalist. There's no dialogue in it. It is just visuals. It's simple. It's great. It's wonderful. The Fourth Kind, for sure. For that, another like half found footage, half not alien movie that is absolutely terrifying. I remember having to sleep with the lights on after watching that. Hellraiser, House. House is fantastic. The Frighteners, another comedy horror movie. That's really, really good. Dog Soldiers, the greatest werewolf movie ever made that no one has seen. There's so many. I've seen my brother is such a horror buff that I've seen some of the best and worst horror movies ever. Insidious 1 and 2 and The Red Door are fantastic. Anything that's not having Patrick Wilson and his family in it is terrible in that series. The Conjuring stuff is cool, although it makes the Warrens look like heroes when they're actually huge pieces of shit. X was great. Pearl was great. Looking really forward to Maxine. Anything in the Texas Chainsaw series, because it's always really fun. Even the remakes, even that Leatherface movie, I actually had a good time with. Basically,
have you played the video game yet?
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. But yeah, I think any of those good alien horror movies are really hard to come by. Leprechaun series, we didn't talk about that. Leprechaun's really fun to kind of get
Jennifer
through.
Aniston,
yeah,
before her nose job.
Yeah. Then I think Ice-T's in it later on. Then he goes to space. But yeah, any of those, man, any of them. A Pumpkinhead's another really good one. The Hatchet series is fantastic. Straight Edge Kegger, if you haven't seen that, my buddy in Lafayette, Indiana, made that himself. He's the director, the writer. I think he's in it. All the effects in that are practical. He's a huge Tom Savini buff, and he tried to emulate his hero, and I think he did a really good job with it.
All right, man. Wow, you had a pretty deep list there, bud.
All right, I'll go with the first couple, Jeepers Creepers.
Yep, I had that on mine. I didn't mention it because I thought I mentioned enough. So
Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
The Howling.
Howling's very good.
The Hills Have Eyes. The remake is actually, I think, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The first
the remake.
Last House on the Left. I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh, I Spit on Your Grave.
Monster Squad. Monster Squad.
That was one of my ideas for the poster for this, but then Yumper came out with a really, really good one. So I was like, screw it, I wasn't going to mention it. I saw a poster for Monster Squad, and I was going to put our faces on them. But...
I love Rutger Hauer in The Hitcher. David Arquette's directorial debut in The Tripper. Anyone ever see The Tripper? Where it's Ronald Reagan goes to a hippie festival and starts killing people. Someone in a Ronald Reagan mask. David Arquette directs it. The cast is loaded. There's like 10 to 12 people in it that you know. It's called The Tripper. Check that out. Magic from 1978 with Anthony Hopkins. There's a doll in that. Kind of gets started with.
I've seen that one. Yeah. That's a deep one. I haven't thought about that movie since I saw it like 20 something years ago, but it was good.
Love Pet Sematary. The remake is okay. It's probably the same way I feel about the Child's Play.
Pet Sematary scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
And as far as new movies go, I really like X. I thought X was pretty good for a newer horror movie.
Anything with Jenna Ortega in it, man.
Sign us up. And that's it. And I shout out to you, Yum, for doing the Jacob's Ladder video. That
was phenomenal.
One of the scariest movies just mentally that I've ever seen. So that was phenomenal.
I fucking hate you.
You know what I thought about taking, and I was going to talk to you guys before, was Requiem for a Dream. That's a fucking
scary.
horror movie to me.
Yeah,
that movie, I haven't watched it a second time. I crawled into a ball in a corner, and
bro.
I didn't get out for like.
I've never done heroin because of that movie.
You're missing out. My brother's roommate in college used to fall asleep to the Kronos Quartet's soundtrack or score from Requiem for a Dream. And I was like, you're a fucking serial killer, dude.
We used that for a fraternity.
If you're the type of dude that goes home and puts on Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream after a hard day work,
oh god,
you kick puppies while you see them out in the street.
I think I'll go back and watch it at some point a second time, but I love Ellen Burstyn so much. I can't I had a hard time watching Ellen Burstyn just kind of fall apart in that movie.
If you think
frightening
that movie fucks you up, read Hubert Selby's book that the movie's based off. It will fuck you even worse.
What's the villain in Requiem for a Dream? Is it heroin or is it just the human,
refrigerator,
the human condition?
It's the dudes yelling ass to ass in the final scene.
Ass to ass.
It's the refrigerator. I text the mom.
Juice by Taffy. Juice by Taffy.
Former WCW champion David.
Yeah, I was laughing at that from Baloney. That was a good one.
Fucking love Ready to Rumble.
Oh, there's also like the Hereditary, Midsummer, and Beau's Afraid. Those are all phenomenal.
CPG, you named 1,000 movies. Sorry. It's someone else's turn.
We love you. So, what do you got, bud?
I got Stephen King's Needful Things is a movie that I love.
Great movie.
That book is my mom's favorite.
Yeah, I love the Stephen King movies. I have the first movie in the Final Destination series.
Good.
Those movies are always fuck me up. Yumper's gonna hate me for this, but I went back because I bought it and I rewatched Evil Dead Rise, and I enjoyed it actually the second time.
I'm good.
I know, and it's okay.
I'm good. I'll never watch it again.
There's a movie called The Final Girls that came out in 2015 about the final girl that lives in a slasher movie. It's pretty dope. The Natural. I like Midsummer. I thought Midsummer fucked me up. Yumper mentioned The Black Phone that I really, really liked. I still love Get Out. And a movie called It Follows was one of my favorite more recent horror movies.
Good one.
CPG, would you like to add some more movies, buddy?
Slaughter High, The Burning.
Nope.
He's like, well, since you asked. Oh man, this was a good one. This was fun. We should
The Babadook. That's
The
a good movie.
Babadook has become like a queer, like iconic, like LGBTQ plus movie too.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Like The Mist, Sam, that we just did a video on that. The Mist today. That was released for 31 Days of Horror.
The Mist with the Punisher. What's his name?
Jane.
Thomas Jane.
Did that one this year too.
I'm Tom Jane.
Do you remember that HBO series with Tom Jane hung?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny,
The
actually.
It was
Gigolo?
pretty good, yeah.
Now you're just hung, and she like drove away from him. It was great. I love that. Anne Heche was actually in that.
He was on Arrested Development, and he was like he was filming a movie on like in the show. He was filming a movie, and he was a homeless person, and they thought he was like an actual homeless person, and throughout the whole thing he goes, I'm Tom Jane.
He was in Deep Blue Sea.
Deepest, bluest. My head is like a shot.
Oh, he just dropped LL Cool J on that ass.
Oh yeah, right like that.
Ate my bird. All right, guys. I think we've talked about horror movies enough. What do you guys got going, Yumper Svo? You want to plug anything?
Sunday night. I don't know what time we're going yet, but Sunday.
Probably 8:00.
Well, look, can we talk about that? Sunday we got our Friday the 13th recap, and we're gonna have a guest on to talk about that. Yumper's doing 31 Days of Horror. He's absolutely fucking destroying it.
Yep.
Like, it's amazing to watch these movies in the production every day. That's just me talking up my podcast partner. And I do college football pod every Monday with our boy Bruhan Luke called From Eugene to Tallahassee, where we break down the weekly college football action.
They play football in college now?
Hey, you're a college football fan now.
I am a college football fan. Go Mizzou.
Go Mizzou. I like it.
All right. Tony, what's coming up with Hookup?
Tomorrow at 6, we'll have our 41st episode that we will be dropping. We'll be talking about Smashing Pumpkins and other Halloween-related music like King Diamond. He'll also be talking about a little King Diamond on there and a lot of other awesome stuff. And we just keep doing that and keep looking out for more stuff.
Sweet. And then tomorrow we're doing a playback. I'm not sure if we're doing wrestling or we're doing the Bulls game, but be on the lookout for that. Maybe I might do a little bit of both.
If you do the Bulls game, I might hop on.
Okay. Next week I'll be back. The Halloween candy episode that I had planned for last week is rescheduled for next week. So we're going to be doing that next week. I'll let you guys know about the date as we get closer. Yeah, that's about it here. And CPG, thank you for being on. Yumper Svo, thank you for being on. Tony, always a pleasure. And
anytime for you, my man.
And Yumper, can you close us out with a little Ultimate Warrior?